Thanks for joining us. If you're just joining, we're still on the press, reaching you live from the nation's capital in Abuja. Joining us now in the studio is Habib, Gajo, a public analyst, of course, not a new face to you guys and to us. So welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
How have you been?
Fine.
How is the economy of Nigeria treating you? How has it been so far?
Oh, so bad, so bad.
All right, before we get into that, I'd like to remind our viewers at home that our phone lines are, of course, open to take in your calls. But please, before you call, ensure to turn down the volume of your TV set or step away from your TV set, of course, before you call. If not, I'll not take your call. All right, Honorable, let's get into it. But then let's start on a lighter note, even though it's not light. It's the issue of insecurity, which begs a whole lot of questions. One of the papers this morning, gunmen kill soldiers, policemen, others in Imo State. And of course, that's I saw a video, gory video yesterday, and that video was nothing to write home about. And of course, there's something that has been trending on the internet right now. That's the death of one of Nigerian artists, which has sparked a lot of outrage, even though it's a youth peaceful protest in about 4 states in Nigeria. I'd like to get your opinion over this, because we've been talking about insecurity over and over again. But now, if it gets to our soldiers and policemen, what is the assurance that we, the citizens, we are safe?
Well, you see, the insecurity in Nigeria or in Africa at large is disheartening. You know, when somebody told you that a Nigerian will kill a Nigerian, you won't believe it. You say it's a lie. Nigeria will not kill anybody because we are good people. But all of the sudden,
everything,
bad governance, injustice created insecurity. Absence of governance in some certain states and areas led to
all of this.
Injustice led to all these things. If you take Southeast as an example, Southeast is a center of economic and trade of Nigeria. People that are supposed to be in business, making money, and you are distracting them from doing that, doing their business and work, and now it has turned to killings, and even the killings has matured or transformed into barbaric cannibalism.
So could it be said that, sorry to cut you short, so could it be said that the major lockdown they usually have over the past few years, the Monday lockdown, could it be said that this is actually a ripple effect of that? Because now people didn't get to work, how were they making ends meet? And then at the end of the day, now it has gotten to killings.
Yes, that is why I said injustice.
Injustice, that's correct.
This Monday sit at home is being protested because of Nnamdi Kanu that was illegally detained.
Illegally detained,
yeah. All the courts in Nigeria said, release this man. Release Nnamdi Kanu. They refuse. Despite that, we know Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail, but the court did not look at his jump bail. Court said, release him. You understand? He will answer his charges. You are still holding him. And the IPOP said, sit at home. The Eastern Security District said, we will continue our activities until Nnamdi Kanu is released. Okay. So that's a subject of injustice. You understand? And Nigeria cannot afford losing or holding agriculture base of northern Nigeria and a trade and manufacturing sector in the center of Nigeria, and killings and kidnapping at the middle of Nigeria. So if you put all those regions together, you will see that we are nowhere. That is why we have hunger, we have starvation, we have lack of health facilities and insurances, so many of them. So that holds Nigerians back, and is one of the today Nigerians are a Nigerian living in IDP in his own country. In his
own country.
Oh no!
I mean, displaced persons. You shouldn't be displaced in your own country.
How can you be displaced in your own country? And some of them in their own state. It will shock you. Some are in that IDP in their own local government.
Things I should have free access to.
So these are the effect of injustice and bad governance.
Bad governance.
I don't know from where the then Attorney General Malami coming from, you know. If a terrorism charges is being charged and the court say no, there is no terrorism charges, you understand?
Yeah.
Then, and if there is illegality of arresting him and bringing him back to Nigeria, is also faulty, because you cannot make arrest by force without invitation, and failure of invitation, then arresting warrant. And you arrest him overseas and brought him, and things escalated, and even the judiciary or the court in Nigeria are against your submission. So amending charges.
Amending,
you know, it's not helping the country. So Nigeria need to stand. This government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they need to restructure the security apparatus in Nigeria. You understand? Whether you call it the architecture, security architecture, or whatever you call it, but you do it on your own way as a president, as a commander-in-chief, so that you will protect life, because the responsibility you have,
of course, to protect lives. Yes, and I like the fact that you mentioned the judiciary the other time, which brings me to my next question, because one of the papers reported this morning, all eyes on judiciary. Is it a subtle harassment or a political reawakening? Do you think this was to harass the judiciary, or at least to make them sit tight and say, oh, let's do our job? And did they really and truly do their jobs?
Yes, it's to sit tight. Nobody is harassing them.
Nobody's harassing them.
You understand?
Yes.
Those who went to the Supreme Court were asking for justice. There is no way, or there is no. How can a judges sit for 13 hours and destroy our constitution, destroy our electoral act, and take us aback? What is the essence of amending the electoral bill that was signed by President Buhari? It is because the electoral act of 2004 and 17 has failed. You understand? We transform our electoral process. That is why civil society organizations, Nigerians, media, lawyers, everybody was humping on this reform of the INEC and our electoral process. A laws has been made and signed. You understand? And all of the sudden, judges will now come and set all those laws and guidelines away.
We'll get into that. Let's quickly take this call. Good morning, our first caller.
Hello, good morning, Mercy.
Good morning, Mr.
Babajide.
Akin. Yes, please, your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, this is Akim calling from Lagos.
All right, please join in on the conversation.
Hello, Mr. Gajo.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, fine. I want to comment about three things now.
Okay.
Yes, the truth of the matter is that I'm not speaking for any party.
All right.
The truth of the matter of Nigeria is that I have a pity for President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. The reason why I say I have a pity for him is that all the complaint and blame and everything now is being downloaded on his head. We should not be so stupid. It's not an insult. You understand?
Please,
we should not be so ignorant
okay.
to know that the fact that this country has been dilapidated from all the political parties, no exception. They have destroyed this country completely. No matter what anybody would say, as the president, as the administration, there is no much fairness. Even though the administration, they have their own shortcomings, which I appreciate. Sometimes the president responds to it. Now, let me mention about the issue of subsidy removal. Before even President Ahmed Bola Tinubu came to power, the former president, it has been removed. It was not pronounced, which was the way out, right? Now, the subsidy removal is the way out, but with its own repercussions. The issue of monetary stock of a thing, we should not forget the former CBN governor. That thing also inflicted a lot of damages to the economic of the country itself.
That's
so
right.
what I'm trying to say here is that when I listened to our president yesterday at the UN delivery,
yeah.
I so appreciated that we have such kind of president. But my prayer is that what he said there, what he delivered there, is being transformed when he come back home. Okay? So I believe at this point, 4 years is even not enough. I'm not campaigning for him. Anybody can win the next election. But the truth of the matter is that if you look at some of his ministers, if you pay attention without any bias, especially from the Minister of Interior and some of them like that, even the work, you find out that they are really going through the damages things that have been done in order to correct so many things. You understand? Time will not permit me to say so much about this. Is the reason why I'm happy for him, and I want to believe within me, not 100%, because we are all human beings, that he has good intention for this country. And nobody, if you like, continue blaming him, whatever. The truth of the matter is that there won't be any miracle that will happen in 1 year, in 2 years. We have to. But then another thing is that the cost of governance, he has to show us the sincerity himself. Right? I'm afraid of that National Assembly. He has to really force, no matter what, let him make a proposal. There should be cost of governance. I believe in him. He can do it.
Okay.
He has the experience.
All
Okay.
right.
So what about the national problem is, and finally,
Okay.
the issue of Mobad. We are calling all youth of Nigerians. I'm not speaking anyway. Let me say most of the youth of Nigerians that we want justice for that poor young man. This is the system in this country. We are not accusing anybody, but the guy made a lot of confessions. Nigerian police, the NDLEA, all of them, the institution of government, they should come out clear so that we know what actually happened. God bless Nigeria.
All right, thank you.
To Mr. Gajo.
All
God
right.
bless Nigeria.
All right, thank you,
Thank you.
Akin from Lagos. So that was good. Okay, please, you read what you said. What would you like to say?
Yeah, he was trying to promote the presidency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu,
Yeah.
which we are not criticizing.
Okay.
We give him the opportunity. We gave him our mandate to serve us. You understand? So Nigerians have the right to criticize or not to
Checkmate
criticize.
him. Yeah,
to
that's
checkmate him. You understand? Secondly, about the death of
Mobad.
musician
Yeah.
Mobad. You know, injustice to one is injustice to all.
To all, that's correct.
You understand? So if you can kill one, you can kill 10. When you kill 10, you can kill 100. One of the reasons why all this thing, the Mubad, whether assassination or murder or killing or whatever you put it, is because he is from the entertainment industry. You understand? And those young men in entertainment industry, they have large followers,
which is actually taking a huge toll on Nigeria as a whole, whether we like it or not.
Yes. And this protest is going to escalate. It will start from Lagos. I had
there was an Abeokuta, there was an Ekiti State. Then Abuja was supposedly taking place this weekend.
So sometimes many people will be killed and these young people will not react. But when you touch one of them, this is the result.
I always say, if push comes to shove, let's just say he is the one now that has motivated people to come out to speak about the injustice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely they will fight for him, and the security agencies will fish out those who
Yes, and now of course Governor Sanwo-Olu has come out to say the DSS is now involved. It's not just a matter of the state government and police anymore. So let's hope something comes out of that as soon as possible.
It's bad for the governor to say he don't have confidence on police, and he said he has confidence on DSS, which no doubt that Nigerians has confidence.
Well, it's a matter of state security, so I feel like
it's a matter of state security, but the investigating unit of Nigerian police has to do their work. If you notice, from police, like the last caller said, Hakim, the first caller said, NDLA and so
everybody, yes.
You understand? So investigation will be carried out. Maybe it is drug.
There's been what?
It may be envy. You understand?
I mean, there's been words on the street that he was invited by NDLE, even though NDLE has come out to refute and say they never invited him. So the question is, who actually invited this said person? But then, of course, the dead cannot talk, so we have to take the NDLEA's talk over what the guy has said. But then let's hope justice comes out as soon as possible. Let's quickly get into the nitty-gritty of today, because we have too many things to talk about. I wouldn't like us to rest on one matter. The U.S. Deputy Secretary of Treasury has come out to say, address corruption to build your economy. He told Nigeria. Now, the issue, do you think corruption is the first thing to tackle as regards the economy right now? Because, of course, they said, the first subsidy was there, but then because of corruption, the money was being looted. It wasn't put in the appropriate places. Now, first subsidy has been removed, assumably removed. But then now diesel is about 1,000 naira per liter, according to the marketers, and they are crying wolf. The question: are we actually looking at fighting corruption to build our economy? Is that the way forward to build our economy, like the U.S. Deputy Secretary of Treasury has said?
The U.S. Secretary of State, the U.S. Secretary of Treasury.
Yes, Deputy Secretary of
Treasury.
Yes.
Has insulted Nigerians and our President, Commander-in-Chief. We can't look at American President and tell him to fight corruption, or we can't look at the UK President, Prime Minister, or French President to tell him this kind of things. You understand? But the problem we naked ourselves in the sense that when President Muhammadu Buhari became president, anywhere he goes, he said Nigeria is corrupt. My country are corrupt. My people are corrupt. Help me fight corruption. Help me fight corruption. He ended his government without fighting the corruption, and nobody came for his aid to help him fight the corruption.
The corruption.
He ended up being the most corrupt government Nigeria ever had in the history of Nigeria. So you have to fight corruption. You have to stop corruption in order for your economy to prosper.
Okay,
you understand?
Sorry. Yeah.
So sometimes these our leaders will go and start looking for help from all these countries, and they will push them to NGOs and small business organizations. They will come and corrupt our system at the end of the day, and nothing to show
for it.
For it, you understand? And at the end of the day, we will now start blame games. You understand? But they don't know that this aids and borrowing, they are borrowing and collecting aids, is a way to control us, because
exactly.
He
now
who feeds you controls you.
I like
so
that.
It's
I like
high
that.
time Nigerians Africa should stop borrowing and also stop collecting aids. What do we need aid of malaria? Since 1960 to date, we are still collecting aid of malaria.
I like that you mentioned this. Sorry to cut you, but I like us to intertwine it with what President Tinubu has said.
Yes.
What do we need aid for in Nigeria, right?
Yes.
And now we've spoken about the level of corruption in the economy. Of course, not just in Nigeria, in Africa at large. But then President Tinubu said something at the recent hunger that happened. He said governance failure, foreign exploitation, others overburden Africa. Now, talking about governance failure, if you as a president, you're going outside your country or your continent to speak that governance failure when the past administration has not done well, and where we have certain countries that have coup right now and are saying, especially let's take Niger as the perfect example. Niger has outrightly come out to tell Nigeria that they do not want us to meddle in their affair. I mean, Niger is just at our backyard here. It's a country of, let me summarize, let's say 34 persons. And then if Niger is outrightly coming out to tell Nigeria to say back off, it speaks a lot. And they're talking about exploitation. Who allowed this said foreign exploitations? Our leaders.
Yes, you see, in the speech of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in United Nations General Assembly, is one of the perfect written speech I read by President Tinubu. But it has no solution. He just read all the problems and the challenges. He has not told the United Nations that this is what we Africans want, and this is what Nigeria stand for.
Well, he has said Nigeria won't allow African Union fail to secure the continent. So that's one solution out of our plenty.
How can Nigeria secure the African Union? You see, it's just a rhetoric. Bad governance that he mentioned is, if you look at all the coups except of Niger, the rest are bad governance, and still some style leaders are still existing. In a democratic country, a president will serve 5 years, 2 terms, 10 years, or 4 years, 8 years, and he will still amend the constitution for himself to continue in government. That's bad governance. Lack of human right is bad governance. You understand? Under democracy, lack of human right, what we know is under military dictators and juntas. But now it happens in a constitutional democracy in Africa. It's so unfortunate that all these things that he has mentioned is an exploitation of our resources. It's our leaders that created it. When Lumumba was trying to protect the resources of Congo, then Zaire, they assassinated him. Who assassinated him? The Western powers. Who again? They killed many African leaders because they want to protect their own resources. People like Sekou Toure, people like Lumumba, and so on and so forth. You understand? Look at South Africa. South Africa fought for their own resources through protest and demonstration. They did not carry gun. They did not. But the whites were killing them. But today, South Africa is free. That is why they will not hand over. You understand?
Yes.
But if you come back to the same Nigeria that is protecting the whole of Africa, that has a foreign policy of Africa, not Nigeria. Because all our foreign policy, if you read the document, is all about Africa. You understand? Not Nigeria. But don't you think it's a bold move going there to say, oh, the foreign exploitation is part of our problems? I mean, you are telling them to their face that you people are part of our problems and we want you to step down. He should tell them that it's even happening in his country. As he speaks there, it's still happening. You understand? So we will not tolerate.
They won't take it.
You understand?
Yeah.
Tell them. But he didn't tell them that he won't tolerate. That Deputy Secretary of the Treasury, when you are looking for investors to come, investors are looking what is in your country.
In your country.
Go and put your house in order. That's what he's telling President Tinubu. Go and fix your house. Put your house in order because this thing is happening. Corruption is happening. Injustice is happening. Insecurity is happening. And above all, the terrorism aspect. So who do you think will bring billions of dollars to come and invest in this in our own country for our own good and his own and the investors' good? Is the only people that will come to Nigeria is those who will steal our resources, exploit us, and corrupt us and get away with it.
Speaking of people not wanting to do business with Nigeria, you know we still have the foreign airlines money that's trapped in Nigeria.
Let me tell you, G20 summit that was held in India has not come out with anything. Worldwide, all those who participated in G20, what have they achieved? Nothing. All the side talks, all the speeches and so on they did of protecting countries and climate change and so on, there is no stand on what they have achieved in that summit. So that summit is a failure.
It's a failure.
You understand? So this United Nations General Assembly, they started it with this kind of things. People will now come and blame people and without giving us solution, and the assembly will close. Nothing has been done. You understand? Let the world powers to tell us that from today we will stop selling arms illegally. From today we will not fund any militia or group or terrorist organization.
This terrorism, it transcends beyond what we are saying. Everybody keeps blaming the government. In one of the news last week, we of course read where the police intercepted someone that was trying to make deliveries for, they said, people with the sum of 3 million naira. Which begs the question: is it just the government that is at fault? Because I mean, we have Nigerian citizens that are actually helping. They have informants. They have people that deliver food. They have people that deliver money. They have people that tell them locations and all of that. Is it just the government, or even we as citizens? We need to be on the lookout. And now we have a certain place in Taraba where most of them have even relocated from, and they moved out from their villages, all because of this same issue.
You see, a hungry man
is an angry man.
Is an angry man, and it's a double workshop. You can't put people in an object poverty and you will now say you will have security or you will go and sleep. No. Some will know that these guns are meant to kill people, to take life.
To take life.
Weapons, bombs, nuclear missiles are being constructed to destroy countries and their people. So why will you sell it in a peaceful country? Why will you smuggle it in a peaceful country or in a society? It starts from those the manufacturers of those arms. You understand? Secondly, the proliferation of those arms come through our sea, our border, and so on. That's where we are blaming our custom
officers
and the security agencies that are not supervising or taking corruption and allow those containers with loaded ammunition to pass.
Okay, let's quickly take this in one breath away from insecurity. Now let's talk about the economy proper. Since someone has said corruption must be eradicated to build our economy. Now, with one of our economy issues, we've had the issue of dollar shortage. I mean, it's over a year now, and we have issues with the foreign airlines. And now their trapped funds is over 783 million naira. That's one question. The second, 3 billion naira crude for loan deals. Others put pressure on local supply that's coming from refinery. And Dangote refinery has said they are going to start operating come October. Are we looking at full refining of our fuel, or is just hearsay right now? That's the second question. Now, Nigeria crisis will put pressure on Nigerian food markets. Is that the reason why a basket of tomato is really expensive right now in the market? All of this together still affects the economy. I want you to take it in one breath.
Yeah, let me start with Dangote.
Okay.
After investing Nigerian billion of dollars, it's so unfortunate that the refinery
it's not working.
It's not working, and if to start work, they are going to import crude oil, not our crude that will be refined. It's an imported crude that is going to be refined. Okay. So two things stand here. Either Dangote is going to buy from the bunkers, or he's going to buy from
the petrochemical.
No, OPEC members. Or he's going to buy from Russia.
Well,
you understand?
Yes.
The trap airline funds. When MFLA, I remember when they went on strike, that National Assembly intervened. The trap fund was 200 million.
Now it's 783.
Then it escalated to 300, and that's where they start giving strike warning and so on and so forth, and it reached 500. So the then CBN governor, Emefiele, suspended CBN governor Emefiele, promised the National Assembly to pay 200, I think 200 to 300. He paid $200 million, settled $200 million, and now it has accumulated again to 700. So sad, so unfortunate. One of the reasons why that American Deputy Treasury was saying, go and keep
settle corruption.
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't speak well for us on the international scene.
Yes,
because it's only in Nigeria where you see flights cost over $1 million for economy where you're traveling, and it just people now travel outside the country to travel outside.
Calculate it
in dollars.
Calculate it in naira.
Naira.
You understand? It's almost 5 million. 5 million naira. Nigerians will rather travel to Cotonou, Benin Republic, or Ghana to buy their ticket. It's more cheaper for them to fly than to fly from Nigeria. The other issue of
3 billion naira crude load for loan.
3 billion naira.
You know, I said something of it. Maybe we should bring it back. I said something of it. Like, why borrow money when we cannot see? I mean, it was few weeks ago. You were on the press with us when they said they borrowed money to push into forex, and that was why naira dropped. And then this again. And
Mele Kyari now told us that first they said they hiked the price. The increment is due to market force.
Market force.
You understand? Now the market don't have force. You understand? Naira is crashing. You went and borrowed 3 billion from African Development Bank to support the dollar. Are you a governor of Central Bank? You are selling, you are producing crude and selling crude. You understand? You must account to Nigeria. You that will account to us. You are the one borrowing for us.
All right, so let's quickly take this call. Good morning. Thank you for calling the press.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Mr. Balagana.
Okay, from where?
Yes, I'm calling from Mina.
All right. All right, from Mina. All right, please join in on the conversation.
Capital of Niger State.
Yes, that's correct. Niger State. All right, please join in on the conversation in 60 seconds.
Yes,
we have limited
I
time.
want to contribute in one of the headlines.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
One of the newspapers here talk on organ harvest.
Yes, from Plateau State.
Is from doctor, is it from Plateau State?
2 more doctors now in Plateau. Yes, that's the point.
What I want to say in line is that those doctors who are doing this illegal, they should be sentenced to jail. Because we sentenced them to jail without option of fine. There's at least 10 years. Look at what's happening in England. So the doctor was sentenced to jail there within 10 years. The case of Ekwemadu when he's involved in the organ harvesting. Even the doctor is in prison now. So doctors have been doing it in Nigeria. Anyone that is found doing it, the law should take his course. Let them go to prison without option or fine.
Okay.
That is my contribution.
All right.
Because some doctors are doing it illegally. There's a case of a patient that even his case was removed. I didn't want to.
The intestine, yes, that's correct. The person died. Thank you. All right, thank you very much for that contribution. That is well noted. I was just going to tell us to round up with that. 2 more doctors nabbed in Plateau over organ harvesting, and in one of the papers equally, a child that the intestines were harvested died, of course, which is actually a very sad one, which begs the question: do we even have anybody checkmating doctors in Nigeria? It looks like everybody's just doing things at their own free will and just. I mean, I heard one story about, especially in Plateau, of a doctor that harvested someone's kidney, and because they said she had issues with her intestine or something, I can't remember the real story. But then she went somewhere else to do checkup, and they realized that her kidney was missing. By the time they checked where the kidney was missing, it was where the doctor had performed the operation. And then they brought the doctor to book. At first, he denied, of course. And later, he came forward to say, oh, it actually happened. How many people have undergone surgery with this said man and in his hospital? How many kidneys and livers have gone that we do not know about?
I like the way you put it. How many?
Yes, because
so it is something happening.
Yes, it's a case of it was caught this time around. Yes. The other cases, it probably wasn't caught.
Yes, and many hospitals and doctors, that's what they are doing. Small sickness, they will say, you need surgery, you need surgery. If you are from poor background, nobody will hear. you will just die, and because your organs have been harvested. It's only when they mistakenly
do a checkup or something. Now I've said
from the rich or
like, because this other woman I heard about, she wasn't necessarily rich. She was just opportune to have gone for tests. Now it begs the question: are we going to have trust deficit with like judiciary? Now there's trust deficit for the judiciary for some people. Of course, some people are happy with the judiciary. There's always this thing. Then we'll have trust deficit for people that are supposed to actually save our lives. I mean, going far to harvest people's organs is far-fetched.
Yeah, you see, harvesting organs is supposed to be a death penalty. You understand? Because it's a murder. It's attempt murder. It's a planned murder or pre-murder attempt and a post-murder, because at the end of the day, those quack doctors that are harvesting
organs,
at the end you will end up dying after the surgery. Maybe in a week or 2 weeks, they say, he has started recovering 2 days.
Next thing, something happens.
The police and the judiciary need to do something. Equally, the government.
And not just government. Now, the people now, we have to take extra precautions, because you have to go for tests and know what you have.
To yourself.
God.
Now, we will start sitting down to watch how they are doing the surgery.
It's not just that. You have to go for proper checkup before to know the organs that are there. Now, if possible, count your organs before you go.
Cite example of Ikora Madu. Is because the British law are very clear. They are working. Despite that, Ikora Madu is the first person to be charged to court on organs harvest. But their laws, you understand, had it been that boy did not raise alarm. You understand? The doctor now scared. If the boy shut his mouth, nobody will hear. Now, the whole world will not hear, and the organ will be harvested. You understand? So these are the things. People should come out and talk. You understand? Government should now know where is our doctors? Who are our doctors? Are they trained? Have you trained them? You go to training regularly. Doctors are always going on strike for their own money. So a government that did not pay salary, how can they give money?
So they sell the organs, of course, to make ends meet.
You understand? So Nigeria has to be vigilant. You understand? And the judiciary should take a stand, a good stand that will protect patient. You understand?
Harvesting, yes.
So these are the things. Back to this NNPC man.
Kiari.
You know, you borrowed money. You that are supposed to generate money and remit to the federation account. You are the one borrowing money to defend the naira. While you increase your product, and you are telling us it's a market force. Now you are retiring your staffs. You understand? At the same time, you are borrowing another money to do what? Let him tell us our input and output in the NNPC, whether in downstream, in upstream, and downstream, so that we Nigerians will know. So barrel has been sold for this quota. You understand? PMS and diesel, kerosene and so on, gas, liquefied natural gas. This is what now today petrol has been increased unannounced, unofficially, and partial subsidy according to the government is back. gas from 8,000 to almost 10,000.
10,000. Some persons are even saying 18,000 there. But then, as we wrap up, thank you very much. You can go ahead and just wrap up.
So, diesel from 800 to 1,001 in 6 months. So, what NNPC, whether they call it NNPC or NNPCL, is telling us, you know, I keep saying that, look, we are going in a wrong direction. There is no way a limited company will determine our prices. You understand? Or fixing prices for us.
Prices for us.
You understand?
Okay.
This is no longer but still you see him with the president. Anything about oil and gas, he is there. NNPC is there. He will talk. He will this. He will tell Nigerians rubbish. At the end of the day,
all right,
nothing happened. Our naira is crashing, is going up and up.
Okay.
So we hope all these things, when Tulumbu is coming back from Nigeria to Nigeria, let him bring the goodies. Let him bring our let him bring our bread.
Well, you heard that. With that, thank you so much, Honorable Habib Gajo, for joining us on the program today. And we do hope the new administration of the NNPCL would, of course, do better, because, of course, Nigerians are banking on you guys. Let me use that word. Thank you very much, viewers at home, for staying with us on The Press today. This is where we draw the curtain. I remain Messi Babajide. See you same time, same station tomorrow. Bye.